guys, welcome to today's class. Today we are going to see cost management, under that budgetary control, under accountancy and bookkeeping. Now, what is a budget? You know what is meant by budget. It is simple. We all will do this in our day-to-day life, in our everyday. Suppose if any new year is coming, you'll say, this year I'll be going to do this. This much is the amount. This much I should grow. This is the care. You will budget everything. So it is not only about financial things. Even if you will plan, what you're doing over there, you're planning. You're planning for your future. Why? Because you have limited resources in your hand and you have to use it properly so that you can attain your desired results. Correct? So which one help you to do that? That is called as budget. That's it. It is a blueprint of the projected plan of action expressed. All right. So now it is very simple. Every day, every home, they'll be having it. If you go and ask your mother, she will have this monthly budget is still next month this month I don't have money, next month I'll give it to you. It is out of the budget, I can't give it. Correct. And next month there will be a marriage or something, they will say no, next month there is a marriage, so I set out some amount for the marriage purpose, so don't ask from there. So what they are doing, they are prioritizing, all right, which one has to met first, which one you can wait for some time. So the same way in any organization, there will be a requirements, there will be a need, all right, for funds, basically for funds. Correct? There will be a need for funds, there will be a requirement for funds, or there will be requirement for time also. For example, a company would have received an order, big order they would have received. All right, already they are doing the same routine order. Now they have received a good order. And if they do this well on time, definitely they are going to get a good business in the future. Now what they will do, immediately they sit and do the budget. Okay, without affecting current process, how much I can do for this new project. Okay, current process should happen hand in hand, and this new order which I have got, it also had to go. So how much labor I required, how much material I required, how many hours I have to spend on that, how many units I can produce every day. All right, when I can pack it, when I can deliver it, how I have to do all those things, you will plan, right? For all those things you need to do, you need funds. So you need to make sure that nothing is interrupted in your flow. Correct? So for that, you need a plan of action. And that plan of action is called nothing but budget. All right. So it is a complete process, guys. How, where, when, all those questions are answered. All right. Now I am here. If I want to increase it further, how much it will happen, how much it will take. All right. All those things will be answered by way of which one? Budget. All right. So we know every year we also having annual budget for our country, right? So the same way, budget gives you the idea of from where money is coming in and where I am spending, which one I have to take care of it, which one I can little control it up, little tighten it up. All right. Where my resources are spent more? Am I getting return out of that? All those things are answered. All right. So that is the reason every organization, every year they will have a budget. There are various types of budgets. We will see one by one in the later slides. All right. So it is basically a forecasting of your future events, what you have to do and how you have to do. All those things will be answered through a technique called budget. That's it. Next, main characteristics of budgets are here. A budget is for a definite future period. Yes, of course, it is for a future period and it is a written document, right? Correct. Then only you can compare, okay, I have done this, I have to do this, I have done this. Have I done properly or not? Only when you have a written document, only then you can check out of it. Otherwise, there is no use. You can just do, you can just write it in the air and you can forget. Correct. So it has to be a written document, and it is a detailed plan of all economic activities of a business. Because guys, even if one day production stops, one day if the production stops, then there will be a loss to the organization. That one day you cannot get it from the labor. What they didn't do that one day ka work, you can't get it from the labor again. You can't get the same amount of output, you can't get it from the labor again. Correct. So that is a loss. So each day is important for a production activity. All right. So all those economic activities, for everything, organization will have a detailed plan. Okay, if this happens, this is the substitute method we have to do. Suppose lockout happened, we have to do it in another factory. Suppose fire broke out, we have to do what we can do. All those things they will have it, guys. And for this is all abnormal situation. Normal situation, I'll tell you. Suppose what happens, every day I will consume 100 units of inputs, raw materials. Then what would be my plan? Every day I should make ready that input for 100 units in the morning, so that the laborers come, they will take that 100 units, they'll start manufacturing. How you got to know that 100 units? Based on your past experience, you will find out that I need 100 units. Suppose using that 100 units, they are manufacturing 100 units of output. Now tomorrow you wanted to manufacture 200 units. Now what you have to have? 200 units of input you should have, correct? Then you will make it ready, 200 units input by tomorrow, so that your production process flows freely without any hassles over there, right? So detailed plan, it is a detailed plan. How, when, who, everything will be given in the budget. All right. Next, all the departments of a business unit cooperate for the preparation of business budget. Of course, guys, you can't do it like, I am a production team, I will do on my own. I am sales team. No. Production team, if you are able to produce something, Andre, you should be able to sell it. Correct. Only if you have market, you can do that. Otherwise, you are not able to do that. Correct. So first you should check with the sales team saying that, do I have a demand? Suppose my production capacity, say for example 1000 units. Now I'll ask my sales department, if I produce 1000 units, can you sell that 1000 units in the market? Now sales department will say, based on their research, and will say, oh, very much, we have demand for 2000 units. If you are manufacturing 1000 units, means we can sell it at a premium price, because demand is more, supply is less. Obviously we can sell it at a little premium price. Or if you are able to produce 2000 units, we can capture the entire market. That is the information given by whom? Sales department. And what you will do, production department, okay, 2000 units do I need to produce? Fine. Then you will immediately plan for it. How much inputs I need, how much raw materials, how many labor hours I have to spend, how many laborers I want to have, how much cost it will take. Can I sell that at the price what they are, can cover my cost, whatever I've incurred? What should be my selling price? All those things immediately you will do, correct? So once you have, for this production itself, you need a support of whom? Sales department. They have to find out what is your demand in the market. Packaging department. And for producing 2000 units, you need what? Raw materials. Again, immediately you have to contact whom? Procurement team, purchase department. You will say, hey Baba, I have spoke to this sales department. They are telling we have a demand for 2000 units and we have a capacity for 2000 units. So we are planning to produce 2000, but the inputs are there only for 1000. Could you arrange for 1000 units ka input? Is that okay? Is that possible? You will ask them first. They will say, fine, we can do it, right? So they have to give their support to you. So for a business, it needs everybody's cooperation. A budget is not that only you will decide. No, thinking about it, it connects each and every corner of the business, and then it will takes into picture. All right. Next one. Budget is a mean to achieve the business, and it is not an end itself. Yes, it is a tool. Budget is a tool or a technique. It is not, we are not going to, once the budget is certain, I have achieved. No. Budget is a tool. It tells you, if you do like this, you can save cost, you can do it on time, and this much is required. Be ready to meet that. Be ready. This gives you a picture of your future in the current period itself. That's it. It is a mean. It is a way to achieve your target. It is not your target. Is that clear? So budget is a way to achieve your target. Suppose my target is 2000 unit, means budget tells me that, fine, my target is 2000 units. How much I require, how I have to be ready, how many laborers I have to make it ready, how many hours I have to work. All those things will give you, who will give you? Budget will give you. So it is a way to achieve your target. It is not your target. All right. Next. Budget needs to be updated, corrected, controlled every time when circumstances change, and therefore it is a continuous process. Of course, every year we are having a budget. Every February month we are having a budget. Why government can give budget for 5 years, 10 years? Na? Why simply they are doing for 5 year, yearly? Why? Guys, understand. Monthly budgets also there. All right. Why? It keep on changes. Now see, day before yesterday, finance minister came. All right. She gave some some reforms in the financial sectors, and she gave some updates regarding MSMEs and all those things she gave. Why she gave? Because circumstances are changing. They have to change it immediately. They have to allocate their resources, where we have to allocate, which sector we have to allocate. Immediately they will change. Why? Because circumstances, reasons are changing, seasons are changing, everything is changing. So you can't have one budget which is okay, whatever it is, I will do like this. Can it be possible? Of course not. Correct. Even in your personal life, you would have planned to buy, so much I have allocated for this purpose. Because of price rise, it has increased. Obviously, it will increase, and immediately you have to change your budget. Correct. So it is like that. All right. It's a continuous process. Now it helps in planning, coordination, and control. This is what I was explaining from the beginning. And there are different types of budgets. Yes, based on the requirements, we have so many types of budgets. We will see this later. And budgets act as a business barometer. So guys, barometer means measuring. All right, if you when you measure your climate, for that you will use this barometer. Same way, it acts as your business barometer. It measures your business. That's it. Budget is usually prepared in the light of past experience. Of course, earlier it was like this. So for 100 units, I spent so much. Now because of inflation, and I can adjust with that, then I will prepare the budget. All right. So it is usually prepared in the light of past experience. Next, it's a constant endeavor of the management. Yes, it's a constant work of the management. They have to keep on doing it. It is not that one time activity. You have to do it continuously. All right, I hope you understood the characteristics of budget. Next, using that, we have introduced a technique called budgetary control. All right, control means what? To have everything in proper place. That's it. That's it. How will you control? Guys, you should have planned something and you should have achieved something. Now we will say, okay, I planned for A and I got B. Why? Only when you have a plan, you can ask this. You don't even have a plan, you keep it. Whatever it comes, you will take it. That's it. Is that the way you have to do? No, obviously no. Correct. Or even you take yourself when you are studying. You will study for something. You will say, this time I have done my work. I have to clear. Without aim, you keep on for what purpose you are studying, what you are going to do, what without anything. You should have a plan in your hand. You should do it. What is the result? What is the actual outcome? Is it matched with your plan? If it is matched though, yes, it has been achieved. If it didn't match though, what has happened? Where it went wrong? Why it was not achieved? You will analyze the root cause. Where it went wrong. Yes, the same way when I use the budget as a control measure, then it is called budgetary control. Here, what I will do, I will prepare a budget for the future period. I will say in the future, this much should be for 2000 units of output, this much will be my expenses, this much will be my cost, these are all the units I will use. What happened literally when actually it would have been either increase. Suppose I have planned for say for 2000 units, I have planned the expenses of say 2 lakh rupees for 2000 units. I have budgeted to manufacture at the cost of 2 lakhs. What happened in between? Something has happened, the prices have gone up, it has come to 2 lakh 50,000. Actually I spent 2 lakh 50, but I estimated 2 lakh. Now you can question why 50,000 was more. Correct. Where went wrong? Who was responsible for this? Why? You can question them. Suppose this is not there. Okay, you think that this is not there. They are telling 2000 units and 2 lakh 50,000. Fine. You will say, okay. You don't know where is the efficiency, how much is your efficiency, where went wrong. You can't fix the responsibility, you can't fix the accountability. Correct. You can't improve also. Are you getting the point? So that is the reason what they say, we should have a plan, and with that we will compare the actual. All right, so that is called budgetary control. So now it involves what? Establishment of budget. First I will give the budget, and then comparison of actual with the budget for achievement of what? Targets, and revision of budgets after considering the changes in the circumstances. Yes, and placing the responsibility for the failure to achieve the budget targets. Yes, I will say we estimated at 2 lakhs. If 2 lakh 50,000 you spent though, then who did that? 50,000, why it went? why it was increased, where it went wrong, who was the reason for that, who made it. All those things I have to ask. No, then only employees or wages or laborers, they will be responsible. If you don't care about it, even they also don't care about it. Correct? So budgetary control helps you to do all these things. All right. Now, when I talk about budgetary control, there are few technical terms. Budget center. What does mean by budget center? Budget center means for what purpose you are creating that cost center. That is called budget center. Suppose if I'm preparing budget for production, all right, or production department, then that will be the budget center. Production budget center will be production. Suppose I'm preparing it for sales budget. All right, that is a budget center. Manual. I hope you know what is the meaning of manual. It is an instruction how you have to prepare a budget. Every company have their own way of preparing a budget. Few company will estimate, inflation, they will give 10%. Few companies will give 5%. Few companies will give 20%. So it is like a responsibility, or it is a manual, or it is like a, written document, which it tells the person how to prepare the budget. Where and all you have to do, what are the instructions, everything they will give in that. Every company, they will have this manual. Budget period, for which period you are doing this budget. It may be for a year, it may be for 6 months, it may be for 3 months, maybe it can be for one project also. Suppose that new order came, I told in the previous example, even you can do budget for that one particular order also. You're getting it? So for which period you are doing, that is called budget period. All right. Next, budget key factor. Key factor means, suppose I told, it is a limiting factor. Based on what you will prepare the budget. While preparing the budget, you will keep that in mind and then you will prepare. What does it mean? Suppose I told you, I have the capacity to manufacture 2000 units. I have a capacity to manufacture how much? 2000 units. When I inquired about my demand in the market, my sales department said that we have only demand for 1500 units. All right, we have demand only for how much? 1500. Now what I will do, this is a key factor. This is a limiting factor, right? I can't sell more than this. Even though I have a capacity for 2000 units, I can't produce 2000 units. Why? Why? Because I can sell only 1500, and that 500 will be waste for me. It will sit idle in my factory where my money has been invested. I can't get money out of it. It is a waste. Are you getting it? So now this is a limiting factor. Now what I will do while preparing my budget, I will keep this in mind and I will start preparing my budget based on this figure, this units, 1500 units I can sell, fine. For 1500 units, how much it will take for me to manufacture. So that is how I will start preparing my budget. All right. So few of the key factors here, they have given: customer demand, plant capacity, availability of raw material, availability of accommodation of plant raw material. There are so many, just I have given few examples for your reference. Governmental restrictions. All right. Suppose what happens, here I said plant capacity. Think of this in the ulta way. You have a capacity only to manufacture 1500, but you have a demand for 2000. Can you manufacture 2000? Obviously no. You can manufacture only 1500 because you have capacity only for that. So you can manufacture only 1500. Even though you have demand for 2000, you can't do it because you don't have that capacity. Correct? So this is called budget key factor, which restricts, which limit your activity. All right. That is called budget key factor. Now I'm talking about different types of budget. The entire budget we can classify into 4 major categories: based on time, based on capacity, based on scope, based on receipts and expenditure. Based on time, we have long-term budget and short-term budget. Long-term budget maybe basically more than a year or 2. Short-term budget less than a year, probably 6 months, 3 months, 8 months, 9 months, all those time. Based on time period. Basically, this is on time period. If it is more for a year or more than a year, then it is a long term. If it is less than a year, then it is a short-term budget. It can be any type of budget, but based on time. Next, capacity. Based on capacity, I can divide into 2 categories: fixed budget and flexible budget. Fixed budget means the production level won't change. Flexible means you can change. You will prepare budgets in various production levels. Suppose I'm producing at 80%, means I will prepare budget at 90%. What would be my cost? 100% what would be my cost? Even 60% what would be my cost? 50% what would be my? This is called flexible budget. It is based on production capacity. Fixed budget means I will prepare only one budget, that is 80% to 80%. All right. So this is capacity ka budget, fixed and flexible. Next, based on the scope. Scope means the purpose. It is divided into two categories: functional and master. When I talk about functional, again it has around some. Here I have given only the major stuffs. All right. It may differ from industry to industry. Functional, basically sales, production, material, purchase, cash. All right. Sales budget, production budget, material budget, purchase budget, cash budget. You can have even labor budget also. How many labors you want, based on that you can budget also. Labor budgets, overheads budget. So many budgets are there, guys. Functional means based on your activity, based on your department, main department. If you prepare any budgets, then that is called functional budget. Classic example is sales budget. All right, sales department will prepare sales budget, production department will prepare production budget, materials department will purchase, procurement team will prepare materials budget, how much material they have to buy, how much is the opening stock there with their hand, how much they have to give it for production, how much they have to keep it for next day. All those things are done by the procurement team. Purchase budget, materials budget is how much is required for, production. Purchases, how much I have to purchase from the shop outside, correct? So these both will be prepared by purchase team. All right. That is procurement team. Both will be prepared by procurement team. Production team will give the input. I need this much. The production team will give them, this is the requisition we need. Now these guys, what they will do, how much they have it in their hand, how much they require, all those things they'll find out here. And based on that, they will prepare purchase budget, from whom you have to prepare, from whom you have to buy, how much is the price will be. All those things they will prepare under the purchase budget. Cash budget, it is basically prepared by the finance team, how much liquidity we have to maintain in the company, how much we will require at the end of every month or end of every day or end of 15 days once. They will prepare the cash budget. So it is based on each function of an organization. So that is why it is called as functional budget. Master budget means encompassing everything is called master budget. For entire organization, you will prepare encompassing all these things. You will prepare, then that is called master budget. Next, based on receipts and expenditure. Receipts and revenue and expenditure you will prepare. And that is capital and revenue. Capital means, I hope you know the difference between capital and revenue. We have seen this. I hope you would have seen this in your accounts class itself. Capital means it is for your assets nature, which is not recurring in nature. But revenue means which you will do it in everyday, day-to-day operational activities. So if it is regarding capital expenditure or capital receipt, then it will be prepared under capital budget. If it is day-to-day activity, every day you will do that expenditure or every day you will get that revenue, though, then it will be revenue budget. All right. So this is the types of budget. Major classifications are time, capacity, scope, and receipts on expenditure. Time is divided into two, long term and short term. Capacity is divided into two, fixed and flexible. Scope is divided into two, functional and master. Functional is further divided into 5 categories. This is just I have given here, but it will differ from industry to industry. Then for receipts and expenditure, it will be divided into 2 categories, capital and revenue. All right. Now, apart from that, we have zero-based budgeting. Guys, usually what will happen, traditional budget, there is a concept for traditional budget. It is normally how we will do. Last year, we have so much. This year, we can expect a little higher or a little lesser. So like that, you will do budgeting. But zero-based budgeting means what here it will happen here is everything they'll start from the scratch as a new. They will forget that it has happened earlier. No, they won't compare anything from the earlier past. They will think that it is a new one. It is starting from the scratch. And for each and every line item of expenses, you should give the justification why it is so much. All right. You have to give the management why it is so much. Justification has to be given for each and every line item of expenses. That method of budgeting is called zero-based budgeting. Guys, understand, it gives very good control to the management. All right. Traditional budget, what will you do? Based on the earlier records, you will just to put 20%, 30%. What is they'll say, sir, last year we are expecting this much. No, then it will give you a lenience over there. But zero-based budgeting, what it says, forget about that one. How much do you need? You have to tell me exactly how much you will need. Then you will sit, sir, for this purpose, this much is required. This is why. The question will come, why? You have to justify, sir, this is how, this is the reason. So that is called zero based. It will start from scratch. It will start from zero. All right. To compare the results, we need this. It has a good control. It gives good control to the management. And such type of budgeting is called zero based budgeting. All right. And moreover, it helps the organization to decide. All right. So zero based budgeting, it is not like routine budget. Whenever the project comes, they will do this. There's a new, think that it is a new project. Start from the scratch. So they will prepare the budget and they will set the project. All right. Yes, this is how it has to happen. For this project, this much it has to happen. So it helps the management to decide. Decision making, it will help. Whether to take up or not, only they can decide out of this ZBB, that is zero based budgeting. All right. Next, one more thing is performance budgeting. Again, it is I can say this is a controlling tool. I can say it is a technique to control. It is very simple. You will have a budget, you will prepare already. All right. There is an input and there is an output. Input will be there and output will be there. And you will compare this. And that is called performance budgeting. That's it. So whatever you have inputs, whether they have performed well or not, it will check the efficiency of the organization. This checks the qualitative. All right, qualitative, quantitative, all those things. Performance. It talks about the performance. All right. See here, it's a relationship between estimated inputs and expected outputs. So if I give so much, I have to get this output as so much. But if I didn't get, what has happened? What is the reason? Where went wrong? Why performance was, is it inefficient or less than efficiency level? What has happened? You will read all those things. All right. So it is a tool. See here, performance budget is one which presents the purpose and objectives for which the funds are required. All right. Why I need to give? It talks about everything. All right. Accomplishments. Talks about what? Accomplishments and work performed under each program. All right. For this purpose, I've allocated what I got from this. Correct. I have allocated so much. What I got from this? I will evaluate your performance. Then that is called performance budget. All right. I hope you understood this. Here I have given one example which tells you how the budgets will be prepared. Guys, for budgets, it's like a specific format. I won't say there is a specific format. It is basically depend on what you need. All right. So based on your need, budgets will be prepared. Here I have just a prepared flexible budget that various production capacity levels. I just wanted to know what would be my revenue, and all right. I wanted to know that. That's what. See here, a department of company X. It's a department. So 6 lakh is their sale at 80%. So right now they are they are at 80% of their production capacity. So 6 lakh is their sales. And they have given their cost over here, office salaries, 2% of sales. Straight away you can calculate depreciation, 8,750 is rates and taxes. Again, these are all changes according to your, if sales is 6 lakh, then some amount will be there. If sales is 7 lakh, then some amount will be there. But percentages are same. Wages, again, it's a fixed type. Salaries, office salaries also will be a fixed type. I can write like this. Depreciation, it is a fixed type. All right, rates and taxes, we can call it fixed or semi-variable. And 1% of sales and 4% of sales, again, it depends on sale. Now they're asking you to prepare on what? 90%, 100% and 110%. We will see how to do that. See here. First, I have given current capacity. 6 lakh is your sales, 90%. So 6 lakh is 80% means, then what will be your 90%? That is how you have to find out. How will I find out that? So 6 lakhs divided by 80%, all right, into 90%. If I do, I will get the 6 lakh 75. The same way, if I do 100%, I will get 7 lakh 50. If I do 110%, I will get 8 lakh 25. 6 lakh is the base. From there, I keep on changing the production capacity. That's it. Next, what happens? Office salary, this is given in the question, and 2% of sales in 6 lakh into 2%. Depreciation again fixed. Again, rates and tariffs, they we have keep it as fixed one. So 8,750 for all the capacity, it remains the same. Depreciation, it's a fixed. So fixed expense means what? It won't change with your production capacity. It remains constant with whatever your production capacity. That is the logic of fixed expenses. So here also 90, 90, 90. But whereas general expenses, 2% of sales. So 2% of 6 lakhs, 2% of 6 lakh 75, 2% of 7 lakh 50, 2% of 8 lakh 25. So you have given here. Now, if I add everything, you will have total administration cost. Again, I'm taking selling cost, salaries, 8% of sales. Again, I am calculating 8% of all these sales here. 2% of sales, 1%. And then again, I'm adding here total selling cost. Next, distribution cost, wages is fixed. So it won't change. Whatever your production capacity, fixed charges won't change. So it remains constant. Rent, they have given 1% of sales. So on that sales figure, I will calculate 1% on the corresponding sales figure. Other expenses, again, 4% of sale. Again, I add that. I add all the total costs. Now for 6 lakhs, 6 lakhs ka sale, I have to incur 2 lakh 32, 250. For 6 lakh 75, I have to incur 2 lakh 49. For 7 lakh 50, 2 lakh 63. For 8 lakh 25, 2 lakh 78 is my total cost. This shows your budget. This shows this much expenses I have to incur if I have to go beyond this capacity. That's it. So this is a flexible budget. This is a format of flexible budget. I hope you understood budgetary control. Thank you, guys.